Back home, a transcontinental Qantas flight declared a fuel mayday on approach to Perth Airport, risking insufficient fuel reserves upon landing. Investigations have since opened into the flight after it landed safely with its reserves intact. Joining us live now is aviation consultant Byron Bailey. Byron, appreciate your time. A mayday call sounds pretty serious. Just how dangerous was that situation?
Well, this situation isn't dangerous at all. A mayday is a international business call. It comes from the French word maydes, maydes, meaning help me, I'm in immediate danger. The way the regulations are structured in Australia, this is Gas's fault because they introduced this fuel mayday rubbish 2 years ago that pilots don't like. Once you're aware you're going to land in less than 30 minutes, and this happened with this Qantas flight, the pilot did the right thing, but he was still about an hour, 10 minutes of fuel left, holding about 100 kilometres to the east of Perth, where Holding is. It's not an immediate dangerous situation like threatening. Problem is Australia has all these onerous rules which overseas pilots just take it in disbelief. As soon as you're aware that you're going to be landing less than 30 minutes, then that 30 minutes is known as a fixed reserve. So it's there for emergency use. But CASA sort of takes the attitude, once you're aware of it, even though maybe an hour before the situation happens, you have to declare a mayday. Well, air traffic control don't have the ability to do anything else. They're bound by very strict regulation. I'm sure CASA never consulted the industry or Qantas when they introduced this 2 years ago. If you're going into London, it might be joining at 24,000 feet and there'd be 10 aircraft below you in the world. Down, 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 down. The moment you become, if you do have you notify ATC. Landing with right on the bones at 30 minutes if you don't give me priority. So that was known as the fuel card. The other situation is to have a thing called PAN, which is not a life threat emergency call, it's an urgency call. What it should be in Australia is that the pilot will declare a PAN and immediately he will give priority. But we have this ridiculous situation of calling a mayday an hour before it could possibly ever happen. I mean, the guy landed with 50 minutes of fuel after holding minutes. It was perfect. Qantas not to blame. It's the stupid regulations in this country.
So investigations are now underway by air safety authorities. What will they actually focus on? I mean, how much extra fuel are planes required to carry?
You normally depart with 30 minutes fixed, 5% of trip fuel. In other words, the fuel you expect to burn, say going Brisbane to Perth. But if the winds are a little stronger, you'll probably use that 5%. And you throw a little bit extra for them. If there's holding required, it's normally specified before flight that you'll need 30 minutes for weather or 20 minutes additional for traffic. So you put that on. It happens a lot where pilots are just in a situation caught out by weather deteriorating and air traffic control overseas handle it beautifully. You just notify them. They don't want the paperwork. But in Australia, they overreact crazily. I mean, a mayday is a dangerous emergency. There never was an emergency. And he landed with 40 minutes of fuel, which is perfect. The pilot did the right thing because he's constricted by the stupid regulations that CASA introduced 2 years ago.
Byron, are passengers on the plane alerted when this sort of thing happens, or are they sort of kept in the dark? What's the protocol in terms of communication?
There's no emergency. There's no nothing. The pilot's got everything under control. You're going around, you're looking at what your computer says, and it says, we're going to land with 29 minutes if we hold. So you notify ATC. And look, landing at 30 minutes is not an emergency. But in Australia, it's treated as an emergency. A jet can go an awful long way in 30 minutes.
Good to hear that things were under control. Sky News aviation expert Captain Byron Bailey, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.